have a mat. We're going to start rolling down, keeping your ribs and hips knitted. Exhale. We're going to take your arms and legs completely away. Press your lower back to the ground. As we exhale, we're going to pull the shoulder blades up. We're just going to work on scapular retraction just for a second. So we're going to engage that shoulder. We're starting to wake up our spine, keeping our belly button in. And as we hold our shoulders down, opening up that chest, we're going to press the lower back down, take our thumbs behind us and touch the floor without letting our rib cage pop up. And then we're going to bring our hands here. We're going to stop, reset, bring your chin to your chest, and then curl up about 3 inches. Come back down. Keep those shoulder blades down. So I'm doing this without any weight, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult or more engaging if you'll pick up some soup cans or a 3 to 5 pound weight. So as you take the arms back, we inhale, we retract, press the shoulder blades down, then you're going to bring those ribs and hips together, curl the chin up just to where you have spinal flexion. So as you exhale, watch the rib cage, bring the shoulder blades up, inhale, exhale, curling up, rolling back down. You want to go really slow. So if you find that your rib cage is sticking out, pull it in, exhale, hollow out your belly, and then come back down. We're going to do 4 more. So keep those shoulder blades down, chin to chest, exhale. So we're just waking up the spine. Again, reaching and extending where those shoulders stay down. The chin comes up and then you curl up about 3 inches, press it back down, shoulder blades down 1 more time. And as we bring the hands forward again, we're going to come up and we're going to hold that curve. We're going to press our palms down. Now, if you have weights here, I want you to drop those weights. Draw your knees into your chest and find a tabletop position like you can have a cup of water on your thighs. So shoulder blades are down. As we send the legs away from us, our palms are going to reach slightly back. We're going to hold those ribs and hips together. We're going to curl around and try to come up 1 more inch. Try not to have neck tension. So again, we're holding that. So we're going to reach that away. Watch that imaginary cup of water on your feet and then pull it back in. So if you need to relax your neck, you can do this. Exhale, but really knit those ribs and hips. So we press the lower back down, palms are to the ceiling, curling up. But try to stay in that C curve as you reach away and then curl up 1 inch higher. Let's do 1 more. Let's stay here. Let's drop 1 arm, 1 leg. So we're going to pull that up. And then we change. So your opposite arm and leg is coming up. You're being very, very tenacious about keeping that lower back down. So if I have a weight in my hand, I'm going to soften my elbow joint. I'm going to really take care of my shoulders. If I have a bad back, I'm not going to lower that bottom leg too far. I'm really working on keeping my ribs and hips connected as I exhale. So if you go a little bit faster, that sometimes makes our hips come out of alignment. So I want you to look up at your hips and see if they're rotating. You don't want that to happen. So each time 1 leg drops, I want you to reach that arm a little further back. So really feel that core. And then let's take both knees back to tabletop. Pull your knees into your chest and just do a little roll. And then we're going to take those arms all the way overhead. And we're going to turn to our side. We're going to come to our elbow. You want your knees in line with your hips. Press your shoulder blade down away from your ear and just bridge your hips up, squeeze, and then tap down. And then bridge back up. So what do you want to feel here? A long spine, seat a little bit tight, hips towards me. We're going to bring that arm up. So if you have a soup can or a hand weight, that's going to be in this top hand. We're going to push up and over, and then gently tap the hip. So push up and over. We're going to do 8 of these. So again, using that soup can or hand weight is going to make that oblique work a little more. But we're pushing that hip forward as we reach up, really extend that spine. Ought to feel really good. And then come back down, last time. Now we're going to continue on that side. This arm's going to straighten. If you have shoulder issues, you can stay down. We're just going to push through. Our top leg is going to come behind us. We're going to lift up and reach. We're just going to lower down just a little bit. Thigh, hand to the thigh, push up. And again, if you have that weight in your hand, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Really watch that shoulder. Let's just do 1 more. Come back down on that side. Bring this back knee behind you. If you have a weight, put it behind your back knee. We're going to rotate and we're going to lift and lower. So we want to try to keep this top hip forward. So we're stabilizing the core. We want to really watch that our rib cage doesn't drop. Our neck is nice and long. Our knee comes up. Now we're going to lift that up, push to the back, lift, and tap the floor. So really watch your rib cage here. Again, putting that weight behind the knee is going to make this a little harder. So I'm really just doing body weight right now. Inhale, exhale. And let's do 4 little circles one direction, keeping that hip still. Let's go the other way. Good, and bring this knee in front, just a quick stretch. You can even take your weight in your hand and open up that chest if that feels good. Gently press down, exhale. Let's go to the other side. So we start out on our elbow. We push that shoulder blade away from our ear. We have a lot of space between our ear and our shoulder. Knees are in line with our hips. Press down, a lot of space here, and lift up and come back down and lift up. We're going to take that hand overhead, and if you want to make it more intense, you put a 2 to 3 pound weight in that hand. Focus more on stabilizing through your back and your core. Really good for our posture and back. You guys have back issues, so my neck is nice and long. Exhale, pushing through, coming back down. Let's do one more. All right, so we're going to straighten that arm. We're going to come up to that side plank. Our front foot is in front, and we're going to reach all the way up. You can just stay here and lower, pushing through, or we can take that arm overhead, really enjoying that stretch, pulling that elbow down, again, using that weight. It's going to make it much tougher. Just a quick 10 minutes to get that in today. Let's do 2 more. Long between the shoulder. And then we're going to come back down that side, bring this knee behind us. We're going to bring that weight behind our knee if we want. Rotate, lift and lower that back knee. So as you lift that knee, think more about pushing it to the back and feel that length in your hip. But if you want to make sure your lower back is not arched, so you want to gently tilt your pelvis under and just keep that. Now let's do little tiny circles. And let's go the other way. Now that body doesn't want to move at all, right? Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's come on to all fours and then roll over onto your back. So I'm going to scoot down so you might not can see my toes, but I want you to see my arms. So you want to reach your hands out. If you have weights, you can push them away and hang on to that. And then tuck your pelvis like you have a little bit of space underneath your belly. Push your toes into the floor. Keep your neck in neutral. And then slide the weights or the hands down, elbows down the floor. Press your shoulder blades down. Squeeze your lower back and chest, and then lift up slightly. So if you're looking at me, go ahead and look down. Keep your neck in line with your spine, and then lower that. Step number 2 is to come back up there. Hollow out your belly. Push your toes into the floor. And we're going to slightly lift your elbows and come back down. Then we're going to lower our chest. So again, long spine. Keep your seat tight. Lift the elbows as high as you can. Keep the chest lifted, lower down. We're going to do that 2 more times. Lengthen out your legs. Exhale. Try to keep out of the neck. Exhale and lower. Let's do 1 more. So we inhale and we lift. Elbows lift, and we're going to stay here. We're going to try to slide our arms forward and back. So try not to arch your spine or torque your head to look at me like this. Keep your head down. Now as we reach our arms away, we're going to stay there for 10 seconds. We're going to lift our toes. 8, 7, 6, keep your belly hollow. And we're going to flutter kick. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your elbows back. You can repeat all this again, guys. Bring your knees in. Let's sit back in child's pose. So if you have weights, shoot them out in front and just sit back and exhale. Then come up, take one of your weights, push it over to one side so you get a really nice long stretch. And let's go to the other side. And the last thing we're going to do is a hip bridge. So we're going to roll down. If you have weights, put those across your hips. Feet are hip width apart. This is all for your whole core and your glutes. So we're going to place the weights on our hips if you have them. And before you even lift, I want you to tilt the pelvis, engage the glutes, drive the hips up slow. Gently press the shoulder blades down, open up your scapula, and then roll down through each vertebra. And I want you to notice if, as you come up and down, do you feel more weight in one heel than the other? So as we drive up, it's not a quick movement. It's a slow articulation of your spine. So we squeeze the seat. So typically what we don't want to do is arch the rib cage. Want to push that down, keep the seat higher. So if you're doing this, try to keep your elbows off the floor. We have one more time, elevating the hands. If you have weights in your hands, you're going to come up and hold the bridge and send the hands behind you, keeping your hips tight. Bring it back up, and then do that again. So you want to really be careful with the shoulders here. So I'm holding that seat tight, but as my arms come back with or without weights, I'm really feeling the length of my spine. I want to feel like my knees are reaching away from me as I press down and up. Let's do a couple more. Now as the weights or the hands come behind you, I want you to articulate through that spine, really watch the rib cage, and then roll back up. Let's add a chest fly. Come back up, keep the seat tight, roll through the hips, reach. Bring it back up, open up to a chest fly. We're going to do 2 more. So with those weights, I need to be light. So we protect those shoulders, squeeze up, open. This will be our last time, rolling down. Inhale, back up, open. Lower down, roll down, pull both knees into your chest, and then help yourself up. Sit cross legs, 1 foot on top. So you want to open up your fingertips, sit nice and tall, and just hip hinge from the lower back. Exhale.